we're in this class until 2:30, okay? So we're here for a half an hour. I'm going to go through a lesson on reading food labels, and then we're going to be doing a worksheet on calories. It's pretty simple. I just want you guys to get an idea of what calories are and why we want to learn about them. So our scale for this, we're standard 9.3 right now. What we're looking at mainly for our vocabulary, which is a level 2, is fat, servings, and calories. Okay. Some of my last hour said, well, we learned about this in 8th grade FACS. And I understand that we're just kind of trying to expand on it a little bit. You've probably heard this stuff before, but it's really important. Down the road, when you're starting to buy food for yourself, or maybe you have a family or roommates or whatever, you might be starting to look at, why do I need to eat this many calories, or why does it matter? A lot of times my students say, well, I can eat whatever I want and I never gain weight. Well, you're lucky right now, okay? But down the road, that's not going to be the case, and that's why it's hard sometimes for students to go, well, why does it matter right now? But it does, and someday it's going to be really important to you. So the skill that we're going to be working on is understanding nutritional data, okay? All right, so part of the reason why we talk about this, we talked a little bit about FCCLA a couple of weeks ago. FCCLA is part of Family and Consumer Sciences, and one of the things that they talk about is called student body, and what they're doing, why they talk about it, is trying to help you guys to get an understanding of learning to eat right now, because if you start learning to eat right now, it's going to be easier to make those healthy choices as you get older. As we go through this lesson, what you're going to see is that a lot of times what companies do is they kind of are deceitful in how they label stuff or put out the nutrition information that you're supposed to know. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to make some guesses and stuff like that. So we're focusing on the healthy you part of the student body. All right, so how to read a food label. Most of you have probably seen a food label on any kind of packaged food that you've ever bought. It's required by the federal government that every food that's packaged has a food label on it. Things like your ground beef might not be as detailed of a food label as some of the others, but all of them need to be labeled. Okay, so when you're looking at a food label, there's a lot of different things that you need to look at. We are focusing on the top, which is serving size, serving per container, and calories and fat. There's so much information on a food label. We'll get in more in depth later, but we're going to focus on just those 4 parts of the food label right now. Okay, so some of the things that a company can do, and I'm going to have you make some guesses in just a minute on some of these different strategies that they use. But unrealistic serving sizes on chips. So a lot of chips, if you look at a serving size, it says 6 chips. How many of you just eat 6 chips when you open up a bag of chips?
I ate the whole bag.
Sometimes I eat one.
Sometimes you eat one?
I don't really like
Sometimes you eat the
chips.
whole bag?
Yeah.
You don't like chips.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so there's a variety. But 6 is what they say. So most people are not just going to take 6 chips out and eat those 6 chips. Okay, they also will do it where they say servings per container, so that sometimes you're confused because you think, well, this one says servings, serving size, and this one is the whole container. Sometimes they do it where they package something. So how many of you eat Pop-Tarts? A few of you? Do you ever open it up and just eat one of the 2 that are in that container? You have?
I
Not
think
very
like dry
often.
out.
That is supposed to be a serving size, is one of those. So in that package of 2, they package it to make it look like you should be able to eat both of them. But really you're only supposed to eat 1 for the number of calories. So they do a lot of confusing things. Okay, so on a little sticky note, I want you to grab one of those sticky notes that's in front of you. If you don't have one, ask somebody for one, hand somebody one.
I want to hear it.
Okay, so this bag of chips is the family size bag of chips. We're not talking a single little bag, we're talking the regular size bag of Tostitos. How many servings do you think are in that bag of Tostitos? Like how many individual, if you were going to separate it out by servings, how many, because I said there's 6, you can eat 6 chips for 1 serving. How many 6 chip servings are in that bag, do you think?
Okay, that's it.
be writing 4 answers on this sticky note, so leave a little bit of room.
You said 4 answers?
Yeah.
Just one number?
Yeah, they're each just gonna be one number. Okay, so first we're guessing the number of servings in a typical size bag of tortilla chips. Okay, guess the number of calories that are in Flaming Hot Cheetos. This is the whole bag. I'm not talking as one serving. I'm talking if you ate the whole bag, how many calories would you be eating? Take a guess.
I don't eat a lot of Cheetos. Yeah, I know. That was in Spanish.
All right, next one. I told you that there's one serving is one Pop-Tart, but if you were going to eat the 2 that people typically eat, if you're going to eat both Pop-Tarts that are in that little metal bag, how many calories do you think would be in those 2 Pop-Tarts?
Wait, just one bag?
Yes, one of the little metal bags that come in there, not the whole box.
It's a lot of sugar.
It's a lot of sugar. We're not talking sugar, but calories and have to do with sugar.
Okay. This one's
Okay, last one. How much fat do you think is in an entire pan of brownies? So if you ate that whole pan of brownies, which I know people do at times, how many grams of fat would be in that?
I don't know that.
I don't like chocolate.
Trying to read the numbers on it. Alright, so we're gonna go back to the chips. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you the answer to part of that, and then on that little white erase board, on the next one, I'm gonna have you do some math. Okay, so they label it deceptively because they say only 6 chips, but most people don't eat those. Servings per container, 20.
I was close.
Okay, so if you take, I asked you the number of calories. So if we take 130 calories times 20, that's 2,600 calories. So if you ate that whole bag of chips, you would actually be eating more calories than you need for the entire day in that one bag of chips. There's also 120 grams of fat. Okay, grab your whiteboard and try to do the math on this.
I don't know how to do that.
175.
Okay, I want you to figure out how many calories total in that bag and how much fat total. So you're taking 170 times the 4.5 servings in that container. Okay, no, we're
My
doing it in
marker's
our
really
head.
dead.
Yeah.
We're doing this in our head, that's why you need the whiteboard.
My marker's really dead.
Oh, here.
You, dude.
What the heck is
Right.
that even right?
Look at that.
170,
Teacher?
yours doesn't work either.
I knew
Here.
it was that answer.
Yeah.
Okay, 170 times
Would you say it
4.5, and then 11 times 4.5.
7,660 carries.
I'll do this
I
one.
got it done.
765 calories.
Okay, so we got 765 calories. Was anybody close on that?
7,660.
I had 765.
Wait, yeah,
765, 765 calories. So if you ate that whole bag, which I know there's a lot of people that will eat a whole bag of Cheetos in a day,
I was off
that's
by a
about
lot.
half the calories you need in a day, a little bit less
I
than
put like
that.
1,100.
And then 49 and a
Oh, I
half.
put 3 for sure.
Okay, so 49.5 fat. Alright, let's look at those Pop-Tarts. So our Pop-Tarts, if you take, there's one serving, or there's 2 servings in that one bag. One Pop-Tart is a serving. So there's 200 calories in one. So how many are in the 2 that I asked you to figure? 400.
I put 175.
I put 480.
Oh, you were close. 480, that's pretty close.
Well, I figured one was like 200 or something.
Yeah.
What was the total?
400 calories.
I was right on it.
Okay, so if you were just
Right
eating
on.
that for
Yeah. I
breakfast,
wrote 500. I mean 400.
You wrote 500.
I wrote
it's not
400.
necessarily a healthy choice because it doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it. But if you were just eating that for breakfast, the calories, if you're looking at it just by calories, it's kind of average for a breakfast. Alright, so your brownies. Brownies, I wanted you to figure out fat grams. There are 16, if you make a pan of brownies, it's supposed to be 16 little brownies in there. Okay, so if you take that times 16 times, what did I figure out? It's 11% of your daily value when it's prepared, because that's including the oil and the egg and everything that you use to make it. So 11% of your daily value, and then there's 16 of those, so I estimated about 160 grams of fat in the whole thing, okay?
Oh, I was off
So
by like.
if you look at that, you would be getting 166% of your fat for the day if you ate that whole pan of brownies. Okay, so that's a lot of fat.
I was sending it, okay?
Off what?
Okay, the way that they figure out a serving of brownies is like this. Just a second. So if you're looking at a pan of brownies,
Like 8 feet up in there.
okay, that would be about the size of a brownie that you should be eating.
My face planted.
Okay.
Then my head bounced off.
Okay, right in. Alright, this mac and cheese is the last one. You didn't have to do any math for this one. But the mac and cheese, this is a family size mac and cheese, so this is not that little tiny box. It's supposed to be big enough for a family. According to that, there should be 6 servings. So you should be able to feed a family of 6 with that one family size box. You guys agree?
I
No.
made half of that.
Hell no.
I made the whole thing by myself.
I
Yeah.
ate 2 of those one night.
A lot of
with
people
hot
eat the
dogs.
whole thing themselves. Anybody want to take a guess at the number of calories in that one box?
2,000.
No, I'd say,
260.
260.
Yeah, it says 260.
Calories?
I can see it.
No,
That's for one serving.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there's,
Okay, you need to look at it as prepared,
what's 260 times
there's about
6?
6 servings, so
so you have to look at the as prepared
260 times
400.
1,000
6. 26 times 6.
So take it 400 times 6.
Oh, 2,400.
400 times 6.
2,400.
2,400 calories. Okay,
Dang.
so if you ate that whole box yourself, that is way over the calories that you need in a day.
Let's
I
go.
think it's fine.
I'm gonna eat
I
it
think it's
all
fine.
twice.
I think it's fine.
So when you start getting
I
older,
just explained it.
when you start getting older, what's gonna happen is you're gonna start going to the doctor to get checked for high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, all of that stuff. And then they're gonna tell you, you need to watch your food labels. And stuff like this is eating that whole box of mac and cheese, they're going to say no more, okay? So that's what happens. When you're younger, you don't really think about it because you are like, I can eat that whole thing and it doesn't really affect me. As you get older is when you're gonna start noticing that that's the case. Alright, so going back to the scale, these are the things that we covered. Fat, serving, and calories. We are going to do an assignment on calories so that you guys get a better understanding of that. Dylan, you can turn it off.
Can you turn it off?
Yep. Alright.